When we last left the group, Braces, Hesland and Varikos were staying at the church to do some research into the missing bones. Where Genji, Ymir and Irina went back to the tavern to link up with Vasily and get the reward and organise a place to stay for the night. But as night went on and the investigation ceased, Braces, Hesland and Varikos headed back to the Blue Water Inn. When they got there, Genji, Ymir and Irina were engaging with some of the local hunters and catching up on some of the rumours around town. Erwin Martikov, the fellow who owns the bar and works the cookhouse out back, had stopped food service and was enjoying drinking some wine with the group and catching up and learning about them. A fancy half-elf, as they overheard, called Rictavio, passed in and then went to bed. Varikos that night decided to break in to Rictavio's room and stole a journal from him. The group had gotten rid of Morgantha's pies and just dumped them outside of town. So that night, Ymir was woken to find Morgantha in the room with them. She came over and said, "You've been very naughty, getting rid of our pies and attacking us. We need you to go and get some children for us. There is an orphanage in the town you're in. We need you to gain some children and bring them to us." And then she also walks over to Genji. "Because you've been bad, this one will suffer." And she starts waving her hands over Genji as he sleeps. Ymir jumped up and tried to fight the hag, but she slipped away. Genji lost 4 hit points permanently that night. The next morning, Ymir winks to Braces and gets her to communicate with him telepathically. They discuss how they're going to sell the pastries to the Martikovs, who own the tavern, but warn them that they're no good and they need to throw them away. Ymir and Braces both think that this will both tick the box of selling pastries, but then if they never get sold, no one actually gets hurt. So they think they're outsmarting the hags. The half-elf, Rictavio, leaves after some coffee that morning and takes some little puppets with him and wanders off. Genji manages to sell his Ankheg head that he had taken from the creature some days ago to Erwin, but he has to hide it out the back, keep it secret from his wife, as his wife doesn't appreciate these sort of things. The group then start to head off, but they're found by a bloke called Ernest in the streets, and he tells them that Lady Vochta wishes to see them and talk with them. The group ignore him and then continue on to the square. They find Vasily in the square, staring at a man in the stocks who's had a costumed donkey head put on top of him. The group aren't happy to see a man punished like this, but Vasily says that it is a way to stop crime, but potentially there are better ways. And Lady Vochta has pushed some of her ideals, but the Baron stands fast on his terms. Vasily recommends that the group see Lady Vochta, and potentially even look into joining her book club. As the group are shopping, they learn that most of the things are mundane. The apothecarian seems to be mostly a snake oil salesman, and some of the group then decide to head to the stockyard. Varikos, meanwhile, realises he can't wander around during the day, as he may be spotted, and jumps the fence and heads to a Vistani camp that he knows is there. When he arrives, he finds the leaders of this Vistani camp, Luvash and Aragal. Luvash is whipping a man, and Aragal explains because Luvash's daughter has been missing for 3 days and everyone's out searching. Varikos says that he's got access to Vallaki, and he says that he'll go in there and see if he can find what he can. He gets some supplies and a horse to help speed this up. Meanwhile, the rest of the group have organised the hiring of horses from Gunter at the Arasek stockyard, and the group mount up and start heading out. They marry up with Varikos on the road and continue heading to the winery. After hours of travelling, the group spot a cowled man on the side of the woods, motioning to them to come his way. They guide their horses over, and the man introduced himself as Adrian Martikov. He's hiding out in the woods with his family, some other men and women and children. He explains that their family's winery, the Wizards of Wine, has become cursed and overtaken by plants, where his father pushed the family away and got them to flee in time, but he stayed back to try and defend the winery. Genji is suspicious and has to ask, why are the plants rising up against them?
Adrian, we worry about your father, Davian, but we need to know, what has your family done to the land to make the plants rise up against it? Why have they attacked your winery?
Many years ago, we were gifted 3 gems that would help our vineyard grow. They would struggle and strive even through the little bit of sunlight that we only receive here in Barovia. A long time ago, the first gem was stolen from us. And then, about a decade ago, the second has been taken. Now it seems that these crazy druids and their plants require the last gem. If we lose this, the winery will be doomed. The group agreed to leave their horses there in Irina and travel to the winery to try clear it out for them. It was a skill challenge to get into the winery. The group had to stealth about, acrobatic themselves over and through fences, climb up the side of the house, find things to bar windows and secure the doors with, but once they were in, they found themselves in the main bedroom. The group head out into the hallway up on the 2nd level, and down at the end of the corridor, they spot a druid. A fight starts, and the druid comes moving up to attack. He screams in Druidic, so only Genji understands. "Nature bows to my every whim, for I have the vampire staff." Genji charms him, stopping him in his tracks. They lure him out of the corridor and then start to interrogate him. Out of the charmed druid, the group gain the information a character called Baba Lysaga has sent the druids here to attack the winery to collect the gem, and that the druids are also looking for a totem of sorts. It seems that these druids have lost their ability to shapeshift, and they somehow believe that the Martikovs have the secret. Having coerced all the information they could get out of the druid, the group attack him, take him down and gain his staff. Genji feels it and knows that it is evil. The group traverse around the top level. They get into the main room that has large storage vats. Examining around and having a look inside one of the vats, twig bites begin bursting out of everywhere. The characters start throwing oil and fire around to try and take care of them, but more twig bites keep spilling out onto the floor and coming around, surrounding them from everywhere. Ymir moves to the position at the top of the stairs to hold them back, and Genji's using thunder strikes. Vallaki is jumping around between one point and another, zipping round back and forth between walls and jumping and skipping along barrels, keeping at distance and using his crossbow, and Braces is using Eldritch Blast. The group finally managed to drop all the druids and their blights. The group continues to push through the winery, and they finally find, tied up, beaten and badly, Davian Martikov. They untie the old fella and try and get out of him what happened here. They also ask him about this totem that they know the druids are after. But Davian pleads ignorant to it. Ymir has had enough. "Now, listen here, Davian. We've been here, we've pushed through, we've saved you and your family. Now, tell me what we need to know. I'm tired of this." But the old fella ain't giving it up. "Now listen here, young whippersnapper. I've had worse things today threaten me than you." "That's it. I can't take this anymore." Ymir grabs Davian, drags him over the windowsill and leans him out. "You better tell me what's going on here, old man, or I will throw you out of this window." Ymir holds him out the window by the leg. "Tell us, old man, or I'll drop you on your head." Better drop me. I don't know anything." As this tense moment escalated, it suddenly de-escalates, and Ymir brings him back inside. The group let Davian rest while they go up on the roof, and the ranged fighters start picking off the other druids and any other blights that are wandering around out from the vineyard. They clear a path for Irina, the horses, and the Martikov family, and they all get back into the house. With the vineyard clear and the family all back inside, it is a much joyous time. The group get to meet the Martikovs and actually get introduced to them and spend the time getting to know them. The children want to play and enjoy hearing the stories of the group. Throughout the night, Davian has to keep getting up and talking to different members of the family about particular things going on, we guess. And then he comes back and sits back down as different members keep shuffling about, stepping in and out and then leaving for a while. We can only assume they're clearing up around the house and getting ready. The group is given wine as its reward, as there are a few barrels stuffed around the place that are still in good condition. Bracey says, "Ship the first of the wine to the Blood of the Vine Tavern in Barovia. Then send the next lot to the Brewwater Inn." The group find out that these druids and such seem to reside down at Yester Hill to the south, and they said that potentially they'll go there in the morning. Davian has said that he's already sent some people out to go and check out on what's going on down there, so that the group can rest tonight and perhaps worry about it in the morning. Unsure of how he's doing this, the group leave it at that and just look forward to having a nice night. It definitely is a joyous occasion to sit around with a large family enjoying success. The group spend the night in the spare rooms at the Martikovs. Ymir is taken to sharing a room with Genji whenever he can to help try and keep an eye out. And during the night, Morgantha once again appears. She makes her arcane symbols above Genji and permanently takes hit points from him again. Ymir wakes in time just to catch the last bit of it as she disappears. Again, Genji is being punished right in front of Ymir due to Ymir's fault. The group are generally woken up a bit earlier this morning as they can hear goings-on downstairs. They head down and overhear the family talking. It turns out Stefania Martikov and her son were out checking out Yester Hill last night/early this morning and were captured. The group quickly prep their stuff, grab some food, mount their horses and ride to Yester Hill. Damn it. What was she doing out there? Why would Davian send his daughter and his grandchild? This makes absolutely no sense. A raven with blue-tipped feathers lands nearby and tells Genji to follow. The group ride on to Yester Hill to try and save them. And that's where we'll leave it until next time.